Hi, friends. The world can be a deeply challenging place sometimes, and I know that the moment that we're in right now, collectively, is really challenging. Um, and I think, especially with the way that social media exists right now and how information is working right now, and just the amount of confusion and pain and turmoil that is feeling almost omnipresent sometimes right now. Um, I thought that I would, make this particular video to be addressing that, and and have these readings kind of help you in this moment. So I'm asking for this reading to get answers for you on how to move through it. Um, if your particular social media landscape right now is a challenge, um, sometimes it's hard to avoid. Definitely. And so these readings are addressed to that in particular, whatever your particular situation. There's 3 different piles here to choose from today in this pick a card reading, and if you go down to the comment section of this video, you will be able to choose which reading is for you, and yeah, and you'll get a reading from that. I want to open this up and talk about some new things coming my way from my website. I'm now offering some special deals on my private readings. Um, Significant discounts for YouTube subscribers. So if you go to my website, you'll be able to see what my current services are for private readings. Um, I would love to give you one. And so I'm going to be offering, I'm not entirely sure as I'm filming this specifically what it's going to be, but if you go to my website, um, junodrome.com. I'll talk about on there, you'll be able to see private readings, and I'll have significant discounts for YouTube subscribers. So to get that discount, all you would have to do is subscribe to my channel and send me a screenshot or a photo or some kind of way that we can confirm together that you're subscribed to my channel. And I will absolutely give you a significantly discounted personal reading from my website. So anyway, I am really interested to see what these readings are today, and I really hope that it finds you in a place that can really help you come into a center within yourself, to come to some peace and resolution with whatever it is you're working towards right now. All of our life paths are different, but we do all experience the collective experience. And so this video is for you. Um, I'm going to play a quick nature meditation for you. This is just a 30-second clip of some kind of nature scene to help you get relaxed. It'll help you, if you just breathe and watch it, get into a place of comfort and, you know, uh, like the old Daily Show, a moment of Zen at the end. This is your moment of Zen, and then you'll be shown a video to pick out which reading is for you. So I'm going to start that up. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I really hope that this comes and finds you in a good spot. I really do. Yeah. Hi, pile number 1. So this is your runes. This is your reading for how to move through a challenging social media world landscape when the world feels really difficult, and things are tough. This is a message for you in your personal moment of that, and however that's manifesting for you right now. So for your runes, we have Lagus, which talks about a flow. It's associated with the moon and intuition. It's all about moving through things, the unconscious mind. And we have Kaunas, which I pulled in reverse, and that talks about movement, the moving into new chapters of our lives, the moving on from things. And in reverse, it can talk about possibly this is something that you are blocking, or it's a lack of movement when one needs to happen. It can talk about looking through in our lives and asking what things in our lives need to be released. What things are we actually ready to move on from when we don't necessarily allow ourselves to see it consciously? And that being with the Lagus is kind of talking about this this need to tap into your intuition, to see what things in your life need to be cut out, and to realize that there are things that are blocking your connection to your intuition, blocking your connection to your being in a state of flow within your life. And it's asking you to try to take a look at things in your life and find what those are. For the Shamanic Healing Oracle, you got Sacred Space and Sexual Energy. So we'll get into those in a bit. I'm going to read directly from the book for the Shamanic Healing Oracle because I really enjoy what they say. I'm starting something new with these readings. I just made a list of little cards with personal affirmations. So these are just little phrases that are meant for you to tell yourself in this moment, directly related to whatever the reading is. And so you got, knowing me, knowing you, it's the best I can do. For any ABBA fans out there. The lyric. But then it continues. I know that I've done all that I could. So, to me, that talks about potentially being in a situation with someone else and trying your best to make things work, and realizing that even if they don't, you've done everything that you can in that situation. And so with the runes, I'm thinking that potentially the situation that's blocking you and the things that you need to let go of may have something directly to do with another person, directly. So let's continue. For the Rider-Waite traditional tarot deck, you've got the Page of Pentacles, the Hermit, Seven of Swords, the Moon, and the Empress. And for my hand-drawn deck. I normally draw 5 cards, but I guess I only drew 4 for this one. But that's okay. We'll go with it anyway. You've got the Hanged Man, the 5 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. So, I already have started talking about the reading with the runes, so we know that potentially this is talking about a difficult situation with another person, and also a deepening of your connection to your intuition and a removing from yourself the things that are blocking you from having that connection. We have the Hanged Man card, and that talks about being in a period of being stuck. A lot of times it has an extra dimension to it, where this period of being stuck is actually can be a blessing in disguise. It can lead to greater insight by taking a pause or being forced to be paused in a moment. We can begin to reflect more, even if we're not moving. We can start to see the reasons why that's happening. We can build a larger connection to spiritual forces if that's something that you subscribe to. A deepening of your own intuition potentially can come from these periods of being stuck, because you're forced to resolve the conflict, even if it's an internal conflict, before any movement forward can happen. And we have the Hermit card, which talks about being alone, taking the time to be on your own. So, like this, knowing me, knowing you, it's the best I can do. I think that maybe you had to leave someone, yeah, I think so. I think that a situation has occurred, and maybe you're in it now, or you are have just left it, but a situation has occurred, that you were having a very difficult time with other people, another person. We've got this deceptive energy card with the 7 of Swords. And because this is all about media landscape, I keep forgetting I need to put it through that lens. Honestly, I think that this other person, quote unquote, could very well be collective, right? The collective of social media, being a challenging thing, to be around, and you feel very stuck with it. You feel very stuck, and I think that we all feel so stuck right now, and not helpless, right? Social media and the media at large, and global events, and the news, and the horrible things that happen in the country and in the world, and all of that, it can leave us feeling so powerless, so stuck, so powerless. And that powerlessness is kind of where this deceptive energy is coming in for me. And that's the kind of a thing that is, it's hard to, what's so challenging about it is that the powerlessness is coming from a place of giving up your power, right? You're giving up your power to these outside forces that you have no control over. And it's really hard to talk about it that way sometimes, especially when it's like such terrible things happen and continue to happen, but we don't necessarily, you as the individual sitting at home, reading social media, there's not a lot that you can do in that personal moment of sitting there, right? Um, and so it's really important to protect yourself from that, um, to take your power back from those situations, because you know you're worth it, right? Like your own health, your own mental health and mental strength is so important. And there's an adage that I firmly subscribe to that has helped me through so much, and it's this idea that, you know, when a plane is crashing, um, you have to secure the oxygen mask on yourself before you can help others. And so there's nothing that you can do if you give up your power to these outside forces and allow it to sink you, you know? You really it's so hard to be able to do anything that could help in that situation if you bring yourself down so low. And social media does that. It really does, and it's so unfortunate because it has so much potential to do so much wonderful things, and it provides some wonderful and important functions in our lives. But in moments when things are challenging and difficult, it really fails us. Ultimately, I really think so. And so, let me get back into this reading because I went off on this whole tangent. I think that the way that you get through that is by going within, and secluding yourself, you know, finding your own place that's for you, you know, deep inside with this hermit energy. Coming to a place deep inside. You know, we have the Five of Pentacles here, and I just want to touch on it real quick before I move on. That's kind of like, you know, it's a man, it's a two people who are outside of a church in the middle of winter. They're poor, they're destitute, and they are, you know, in a very dark place. You know, it's a dark night of the soul kind of a card. And that speaks exactly to what I was just talking about, of that place that social media can bring us down, very, very down. And when we are in that state as individuals, um, there's very little that we can do to help, quote unquote, if we want to help, you know, because it leaves us feeling powerless no matter what. And that sense of powerlessness sells, unfortunately. It sells, um, in our current media landscape. It forces us to keep going back. You know, we have to keep reading. We have to keep looking because we feel powerless and we need to know what happens next. But the problem with that is that it's like, you know, when you're watching an episode of television, um, you know, and it's a season of a TV show that ends each episode with a cliffhanger. Um, and so you just have to keep watching it, right? You can't put it down when it's the cliffhanger. You have to keep watching because you're hooked. So then you keep watching the show continuously until you've binge watched the entire season and you just spent 20 hours watching a TV show. Um, it's very similar to that. The news media and the news cycles and social media and all of it forces us to binge watch everything. And it can be really unhealthy. Well, I don't want to put it that way. It can be really hard on us. And so, you know, I pause TV episodes halfway through the show when it when it reaches a scene that's kind of boring and you can put it down. In the age of an entire season of a TV show being released at once, you make your own stops. That's a 20-hour movie and you stop it when it's the right time to stop, right? So that analogy can kind of work for this too, because it's like when you're in the boring moment, that's when you stop. And then it becomes a lot easier when these difficult moments pop up and make us feel powerless. I don't know. Does that analogy work? Kind of. Let me know what you think either way. We've got more cards here for you. So, detox. Take a break. Take a break. That's what I do. And I don't want to push myself off on you, but this reading is to help you, right? So my own experience might be helpful in this situation. When I get overwhelmed with social media and it becomes too much, I just put it down, and honestly, like, I had to stop. I was watching. I used to watch the news regularly, and it wasn't that much. It was just I was watching PBS NewsHour like every day, and then I was listening to NPR on my phone, and it became too much. Even that became too much. Getting news updates on my phone from Apple, just like constantly pinging me news, 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 and it's all catastrophe. And it's a shame because there's really unfortunate things happening, and it is really important to stay informed, I think. But I think you're going to hear about the really important things either way. And so learn how to keep it from getting in here. Keep it from sinking its teeth into your heart. Horrible things are going to keep happening. It's a shame. It's a real shame. It's a real shame. But knowing you, it's the best I can do. I've done all that I could. Right? That affirmation's for you in this. I know that the world can be a dark place. And I know that sometimes I can't keep looking at it that way. And sometimes I gotta build my own beautiful world right here, right now, by myself. Keep myself centered, keep myself present, and recognize when it's time to tune out. And I think that you have that capability coming to you. I think that would really help you. We have the Sacred Space card. Let me read that one. That talks about the Hermit. It's very resonant with the Hermit energy, very similar. Find a spot in your home or office that you can easily access. Create a sacred spot just for you. This will be a place for you alone. If space is at a premium, then a shelf or corner will do. Put here only those items that hold significant meaning to you and touch you on a deep personal level. Examples are photos of loved ones, rocks, feathers, shells. Place a candle, even if it cannot be lit. This signifies the element of fire and represents a flame of Creator's love for you, the fire of creation or purification. Perhaps fire means something entirely different to you. Use this space to go to daily, even if it's just for a few moments, to ground and calm yourself. work this into your daily routine, and bring you to a place of greater understanding. Yeah, so there you go, right? When things are really challenging and you just feel so hit by it all, take a moment to find a space, either, make a space in your house. I'm looking to my altar, which is over there right now, and it's great. You don't need to have an altar, though. If you want to, though, they can be really helpful. But it can be whatever you want. And take some time to ground yourself. And by ground yourself, I mean let it go. Come back into yourself. Breathe. Let the thoughts dissipate and find the flow. The Logos rune, right? Find your inner self, your intuition. We've got the moon here, which talks about the intuition as well. Like I was saying, Logos is all that moon energy. There is a powerful force within you that is whispering to you on how to find your own sense of calm and your own sense of you. And when you connect with that self, that inner voice, you'll be able to experience so much more joy and happiness and just connection, peace and contentment. And that peace and contentment comes from slowing down, and in a way that is meditation. Maybe some kind of more formal meditation practice might help you, but you don't have to even do that. It's just taking a moment to collect yourself and to come away and to just find something calm. I'm a gardener. I've got lots of gardens outside my house now, and that's my form of meditation every day. I water the plants. I slow everything down. That's how I start my day, and it's great. Slow everything down, make a cup of coffee, take my coffee, fill up the watering can, and just pour it on the plants. And I have to fill up that watering can like 5 or 6 times, and it's great. I go very slow, and I just take my time, and I'm present with myself in those moments of nothing, And it's not nothing, but it's something. And it's relaxing. And those kinds of things might help you. We've got the Ace of Wands here, which talks about being on a new journey. It's starting some fiery, passionate drive. So I do think that you are coming to a place where you can be more in touch with your intuition, and by doing that, that's going to allow you to unleash this new period of creativity and a new project, a new drive, and something that could potentially even make you money. You have the Page of Pentacles here, which is talking about a new journey on the material plane, which could be, a lot of times it talks about a journey towards financial abundance, but also any kind of material abundance. It could be health. It can be just a sense of calm based on your material surroundings helping you. So you're breaking out of this stuck energy that you might have been in and breaking into a new passion and a new drive. You've got the Empress here, and she's telling you to unleash and find your inner goddess, and that's going to help you out a lot. And you might be a man watching this, and that's okay. You have an inner goddess too. She's there to help you. We all have her. She's like the rockin' powerful divine feminine force within you. And she's a receptive force. The feminine energy, with a capital F, the universal feminine energy, is all about letting things come to you. It's about cultivating the life that you want and having things flow into it. It's all about that flow and that intuition, the Logos rune, the moon, flowing, being in the flow of your life, leaving behind all of the things that you need to leave behind so that you can be within the flow of you in this present moment. We have the sexual energy card, which can talk about sex, but it also talks about the creative force of the universe that flows through all of us, that Kundalini force, if you want to call it that. Let me read that for you. In the purest sense, sexual energy is not an energy to be expanded from you. It is a state to reside in. The first and second chakras are the root of our sexual feelings. When you use this very potent energy to manipulate people and situations, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. When you expand your life force energy up from your first two chakras and incorporate the energy from your heart and your crown, you can experience the most complete and divine experience of sexual energy possible. This doesn't have to even include another person. When you can merge your connection to Creator with your connection to the earth, without any filters or blocks between the two, you will experience a complete and true connection. We act as the conduit between heaven and earth, and when we can put ourselves into this energy at any given time, we are not tempted to use our sexual energy in a way that feeds our need for validation, nor are we easily manipulated by another person's outputting of sexual energy. This card is asking you to look at where sexual energy is directed in your life. So, yeah, that connection that I was talking about, that is the same connection that we use to create things. It is that creative force of the universe, this Ace of Wands card. So you have the ability to do that, and by taking yourself aside, giving yourself a break from any kind of thing that is really harming you, this deceitful energy, it might be a person, it might be social media, since this is social media themed. Getting out of that and into your intuition of you, the inner you, finding that out, connecting yourself with the greater creation force of the universe, bringing yourself into that alignment is going to open for you the Nine of Pentacles, which is ultimate abundance. This is normally depicted as a woman in a garden who's surrounded by the finer things of life, and she is basking in her abundant energy. So you can incorporate this abundant energy into your life. It's just going to take you removing the things that aren't helping you, grounding yourself in the present moment by taking time every day. Just set it aside for you, even a few moments, just breathing. Just being you and breathing is really going to help you come into a sense of calm, come back into an alignment with yourself, and help you move forward with a sense of peace and a sense of ease. So that was your reading. Let me know in the comments what you think either way. Please subscribe to my channel. Like I said at the beginning, if you didn't hear, I am now offering significant discounts for YouTube subscribers on my private readings. So go to my website for more details on that. All I would need is some kind of proof that you're subscribing to my channel, so you can either take a screenshot, a picture, or just message me and we can figure out a way for me to confirm that you are a subscriber. But if you are, my readings are going to be significantly discounted for you. So please, I would love, love, love to give you a personal reading. And I would love to have you as a subscriber to my channel. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Have a good one. Hi, pile number 2. So before I dive into the reading, this reading is intended for difficult times. We are often bombarded by challenging moments, especially now in the iteration of the way things have become, with social media being what it is, with the news being what it is, and with the world being what it is. We're entering into some challenging moments, and whenever we're in these challenging moments, it can be really difficult to hold on to one's inner center sometimes. It can be really challenging to really know how to find yourself in it, when social media becomes a difficult thing to digest, it can be challenging for us because, it can be this real big give and take with social media. It can either be this wonderful tool to stay connected with the world and with the people that we know, and with our communities, our online communities are all based in these platforms. But it can also be really scary when world events happen that challenge our sense of stability, our sense of well-being, our sense of safety. So this reading is intended for you in this moment if you're feeling triggered, you're feeling shaken, you're feeling powerless, and it's kind of a way to just check in and see what might help you in this moment for that. So I'm going to jump into the reading in just a moment here. I'd just like to mention that I am offering heavy discounts on my services right now. If you need a reading, a personal reading, I have two different options. I am offering these discounts for my YouTube subscribers. So all I would need is, you can check out my website for more details, but if you subscribe to my channel and take a screenshot of it or a picture of it, or find some way to communicate to me that you have subscribed to my channel, then I would be happy to give you the discounts for my readings. And we can do a one-on-one and really check in and tune in and see where you're at, what you need to know. My readings take on a healing dimension, generally speaking. I do a lot of work with the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and I'm working more on energy healing and just full being healing. My words that I channel tend to be from that perspective. So yeah, come let me know if you need help. I'm here to help you. I really am. I don't want to turn anyone away. So subscribe to my channel and we can 100% work out a reading. Anyway, I rambled too long. Let's jump in. So for your runes today, you have Tewaz, which is it's a rune of the North Star. I've also heard it called the rune of the spiritual warrior. It's about oaths, but it's also about following your inner guidance. It's about trusting the inner being of you no matter what. Learning to become the you that you truly are, no matter what events occur and happen in life. Those events are there to shape you and show you an experience to become a stronger, more solid foundational unit of you, the you of you-ness. We also have Thorasaz, which is talking about a gateway. It's the movement from one position into another, the transformation and the movement into something else. And so it talks about the ways in which we move into a new being, and a more spiritual being, a being who is gaining the things that they need and want in life. And that is coming directly with this North Star rune. So you have a connection where you are moving through a portal or a gateway into a new reality. And so regardless of any setbacks that you're in, you're moving into that new reality. And I started these affirmation cards. This is new for this reading, and I'm probably going to keep using these because I like them. But each one just has a small sentence for you to tell yourself, an affirmation for yourself in this moment that can really help you where you are. And this one is, I love myself beyond whatever setback currently faces me. So it just talks about reminding you, no matter what challenges occur in life, no matter what might be happening in this particular moment, whatever challenge, reminding yourself that you are here for you, that you are here for yourself no matter what. You always will be. Regardless of whether you want it or not, you are with you for the rest of your life. And so you might as well love that inner being no matter what, and give them the gift of your love. Give yourself the gift of your inner deepest love. And that honestly can help you face those challenging moments much more, because at the core of you is this base, this pillar of deep acceptance of you, no matter what. For the Shamanic Healing Oracle cards, we have Integration, and I'm going to read directly from the book at some point in this reading for these cards, and they will help kind of show you some specifics of ways to heal. They really are wonderful, wonderful cards. I love this deck so much. The second card that we have is Forgiveness, which definitely talks about forgiving others and forgiving yourself, and how good that act of forgiveness can free our inner being to move in the directions that we actually want and need to move in, to grow in the directions that we need to, and to break apart from any feelings of stuckness. For the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, we have the Three of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, the Magician, the Nine of Swords, and the Lovers. For my hand-drawn deck, we have Temperance, the Sun, the Six of Cups, the King of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the Three of Cups. Okay, so let's keep diving in. You are the Magician. We'll start with that. You have this here. It's very, very similar to the Tewaz rune. They're incredibly similar images. The Magician is a unique card in the tarot because it connects between it all four of the elements. You can see he's got a cup, a sword, a pentacle, and a wand all together in one card. So you have the combination of all of the suits within you. It talks about how, as human beings, we have the ability to tap into all of the foundational elements that exist within this universe and move them to the ways that we need for ourselves and for the world. That we have the ability to flow within us this magical element of transmutation and manifestation, of creation. We have within us the building blocks that we need to make anything happen, to have anything happen. And so it's kind of the ultimate card of breaking through any kind of limitation, because this has this world and social media dimension to this reading. We can think about how even if we have these challenging moments where we can feel powerless based on events that are occurring in the world around us, this card is telling you that in your personal life, you have all of the tools that you need at your disposal to make your life look and act however it needs to. That you have the tools and the abilities to be whoever you need to be for you, and that's okay no matter what. I'm going to read the Integration card here because it really kind of, I think, ties that idea together of doing what you need to do for you versus the things that you think you need to do based on societal pressure and societal conditionings and what other people are telling you and what the world is kind of making you feel based on events. We are a sum of all our experiences in this and other lives. We all bring forward a wealth of knowledge, talents, and wisdom. One of the challenges is remembering who we are. We are bombarded every day in every way with messages on who we should be, on what we should do, what we should wear, how we should live. These messages coming from the media, society, our family and friends, and even strangers can drown out who we really are meant to be, who we have grown into lifetime after lifetime. Find some quiet moments in your day to identify and start a relationship with that small, strong voice inside you. This Tewaz rune talks about that voice specifically. This is the path of the spiritual warrior. This is the North Star guiding within you. That let your conscience be your guide, Jiminy Cricket. It's your own personal Jiminy Cricket, right? Pretty soon you won't hear the other messages. Many times in your interactions with others, you hear that small voice that tells you something is not right. Your logical mind tells you to stop it. Nothing is wrong. Stop being silly, dramatic, overreacting. You may ignore your inner voice in a quest to fit in, to be loved or admired. You do not realize that your inner voice is warning you that other people's energy is not matching their words or actions. Listen to your instincts about a situation or person. So this is definitely talking about finding a connection with your inner guidance, with your inner being, and trusting that over anything else, because that is going to lead you down the path that you need for you. And the more that you become aligned with that inner voice, the more empowered you will feel, and the more stronger you will feel. And that's kind of where you are. You're in this gateway period of your life where you're coming into that. And I really do think that you are coming to this point where you are becoming this. We have the Nine of Swords, which talks about being stuck in a challenging thought field. So the swords are all about the mental energy. They're about our mental body and our thoughts. And it really talks about this sort of, it can be anxiety, fears, worry in general, sadness. You can see there's all of these swords behind her head, and she's waking up from bed after nightmares. So she's had a dream about all of these swords. These swords represent the past. They represent all of the difficult and challenging things that have happened to her, and her continuing to replay them in her mind. And so it really comes and asks you to try to alleviate those, and to remember that hindsight, we have a tendency, and it's either cultural or it could be biological. Either way, we have a tendency to really put weight on the challenging and quote-unquote negative things that have happened in our lives. And when we think about the past, a lot of times these outweigh the good moments, when in reality, we have good and bad moments. We have challenging and strong moments within our lives that occur continuously. And so it is the mind that moves us to remember the challenging moments or to remember the good moments. And the reason why I'm talking about that dichotomy is that you also have the Six of Cups here. And the Six of Cups talks about happy memories. It talks about remembering the things in the past that have been really wonderful for us. Happy memories of childhood. Being in a state of innocence when we can just allow life to happen and to play and to enjoy and to not have these hard things pressing us. And so you have the power as an individual being to remember either these challenging, hard, awful moments that hurt you, or these nice, happy, wonderful moments. We all have all of those. The past no longer exists. It doesn't exist anymore. And what the past is now for us is it's a written message within our brains, within our minds, of events that occurred. It is a memory that is reliving itself. And what's really interesting is that I remember I'm really into this podcast called Radiolab, and I used to be into it a lot more in high school. And they had an episode once where they talked about memories. And what was really interesting is that every time that you remember something, you're actually rewriting those events within your mind. A memory is um, in order to remember something, you are physically rewriting in your brain what happened based on what you think was the memory. So every time you remember something, it changes because it's a re-recording of an event. And so each time you re-record that event, you lose data of what actually happened, and you get further and further from the reality of what actually occurred, and it becomes something else. And so the more that you relive these challenging moments from your past within your mind, the more that they become something that they were never even to begin with. And so that's the danger of being stuck in the past, is that the past doesn't actually exist. And in this moment, thinking back to it isn't real. It's an illusion. It's an illusion that your mind is creating, and the more that you play that loop back in your mind, the more degraded it becomes, the less real it actually is. Because it's only in the now moment that any event actually occurs. We only exist in this moment right now, and past and future, as much as they, you know, they can be a gift. Planning for the future can be a gift. Remembering things that happened to us in the past and learning from mistakes can be a gift, but they can also go too far. When we're not living in the moment and we're only living in either the past, which can be reliving all of these negative things that occurred, or in the future, it's going to be better someday. It can't help you if you're not present in the moment, because someday will never occur if you aren't able to live right now. Because once that occurs, it's only ever going to be right now. It won't be that someday. It'll only be now. And if you don't work on the things that you need to work on now, you'll never get to those moments. It'll only ever be feeling this lack, and you'll perpetuate that lack into the future, which is what the magician is all about. The magician is the card of manifestation. It is the card of making something happen. And so we have the ability as manifestors, and I think we all are manifestors on this planet. We are all in our lives able to create and take charge of our lives and situations and make something happen. So you too. What's interesting is that we have the ability to make either something that we want to happen or something that we don't want. We can perpetuate that lack. We can manifest situations of lack and trouble and hardship within our lives if we continue to focus on those things. It's very interesting that we actually live in a world where the things that we focus on are the things that we perpetuate. And it makes sense. You don't even necessarily need to have any kind of mystical perspective to see that, although you definitely can if you want to. I do. But you don't have to, right? If you just think about it, the things that you focus on are the things that you will be bringing into your life, either consciously or subconsciously, because it creates a limitation. By thinking that something is a certain way, you automatically delete within yourself any possibility of anything else. And so because of that, you don't see the situations that will bring you something else, by having a limited perspective. And so this spread is starting to ask you to realize that more, to understand what it is that you're building in your life. You have the Three of Pentacles, which talks about coming together with other people to build something, but also just building foundations in general. And so it's very much like asking you, what is it that you're building in your life? What is it that you want? Do you know what you want? Are you consciously trying to create a life for yourself? And are you consciously trying to live in this moment, in the present? Or are you building for yourself a continuation of worry and anxiety and pain? And there is something within you that needs to be addressed to know what you're doing in regards to that. But like I said, you're coming through this gateway from one section into something else. You're moving into a new period within yourself, and the Magician is helping you get there. You have the Ace of Swords, which can talk about a lot of things. It's the very first of the mental cards. It's the first of the sword suit, so it kind of talks about beginning a journey within that. But a lot of times for me, this comes when there are things in our lives that we need to cut out. There are situations, people, energies, movements, like this the integration card was talking about, things that are no longer serving us, that we're ready to move on from. This can be people, this can be jobs, it can be living situations, it can be anything. But it's really taking stock in your life and taking control of your life, becoming empowered in your life, and saying, I don't want this anymore. This is not working for me. I am ready to move on from this. And that's okay. Like, understanding where your boundaries are. This is an action that is occurring that I am not comfortable with. This is a situation that is occurring in my life that I no longer want. And it's taking the courage to say goodbye. All right, I don't want this anymore. This isn't working for me. This isn't helping me. I am ready to move on. And by doing that, you have the Magician here. You have this manifestation power, and you have the King of Wands here. And the Wands are all about passion, creativity, drive, the power driving force of us all, a manifestation. And it is the King. So it is the culmination. It's the final card of this suit. It is the ultimate card from this passion, creativity, drive, manifestation. So you have this power within you to take charge of your life, to take charge of your circumstances, and say, this is what I want, I like it, I want it to continue. This is what I don't want, I don't like it, I'm ready to end it. And it's taking up and setting those boundaries. And so, just to turn back to the social media dimension within this pile, having the courage to say, I can't see this anymore. This is not helping me. I'm not gonna look at it. It could be like, this person, as much as I love this person, they post things that really hurt me. I have never read a post from this person that does not gut wrench me, hurt me, do something to me that I'm not comfortable with. So I am going to unfollow this page. You don't even have to unfriend them if we're talking about Facebook, or if it's any social media platform. I don't like the feeling I get when I read this person's post. That's talking about energy, right? If you want to look at it from an energy perspective, what that's saying is that the stuff that this person is putting out does not resonate with me, and is actually, I can feel it with my inner being hurting me. Okay, it's time to not read this person's posts anymore. And that's okay. You just take a break. If you want to be as dramatic as unfriending them, that's fine, but you don't even have to do that. You can just unfollow that person. Like, okay, I don't want to read this anymore. And it's like taking control of your own social media landscape. You have the power to do that. I don't want to follow this anymore. Block. But in your life, you can do the same thing. It's the same. It's the same in the digital life as it is in the real life. And what that is it's a boundary. It's creating a strong boundary in your life that says, this is something that I am not comfortable with, and I don't want to bring it into my life anymore. And you set that boundary. And that's totally okay. It's incredibly important to do that. You are living your life, and it's your life, your rules. That is something that I deeply, deeply, firmly believe with all of my heart. And you get to set the controls because it's your life. You get to set the things that you can do and the things that you can't do. And it's not up to anyone else to say what that is and what that isn't, because it's your life. It's your existence. And if somebody else doesn't like it, tough. Then, like, that's important. Like, okay, goodbye, you know? Or even if you can't do that, just like, okay, I see that this person is not respecting my boundaries, so I am going to take some time away from this person. And that's incredibly important and empowering. The more that you do that, the more that you see that and you put those things into place in your life, the more empowered you will feel, the more aligned with your own inner being you'll feel, the more comfortable you'll feel. And we have this forgiveness card here. So this talks about forgiving other people for things that have happened to you, and you forgive people without forgetting, right? You don't have to like let somebody completely back into your life or open yourself completely up to somebody to forgive them. No, it's just an energetic way of releasing the things that have happened to you, taking back your power and saying, I see that this occurred, I see the situation, and I forgive you. And I am no longer holding on to this pain anymore. Because what happens is that holding on to a grudge with somebody, or holding on to feeling like, oh, I can't believe this person, that's something that you are holding. You're holding that energy, and you're holding that within you. And it's not hurting the other person for you to be feeling those feelings. It's not hurting, it's not affecting them at all, one way or the other, but it is affecting you. It's actively hurting you. You are holding on to that pain and that hurt, and that is just blocking you. You can't move forward if you're holding on to that kind of thing. And then the other big thing about forgiveness is forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself for getting into situations that have been painful and challenging. It's okay. We all go through challenging and painful situations in our life, no matter what. We all make mistakes. We all do things that can even turn our lives completely upended and can cause a lot of inner turmoil. And that's okay. It's okay that those things happened. It's okay that you did those things. You know, maybe you hurt other people and you feel bad about it. And, you know, it could have been a really, really long time ago, and you're still holding it. But by holding it, you're not helping those people that you hurt, and you're not helping yourself. You're just hurting yourself, and that can't help you. That can't help you. So you have to forgive yourself. It's incredibly important. Let me read the forgiveness card. And like I said, forgiving isn't forgetting. If you hurt someone else and you feel bad about it, you've learned some real important lessons from that experience. You don't have to forget that it happened, and you don't have to make it happen again. Just because something has occurred in your life in the past doesn't mean that you have to bring it forward. This anxiety, Nine of Swords energy is all about that. You don't have to bring the past into this moment, but by reliving those moments in your mind continuously, you are bringing the past into this moment. You are acting from a place of perpetuating those things. Forgiveness. It has been said forgiveness is the greatest gift we can give ourselves. Forgiveness of others, but also forgiveness of self. We are the most critical and judgmental of ourselves. This inner critic does so much more harm than criticism that comes from others. Forgive yourself for trusting others and for getting hurt. It's okay, you know, if you were in a situation in the past where somebody's hurt you, where you have been the victim in a situation. You have to forgive yourself for that. You have to forgive yourself for getting into a situation that harmed you, because that happens to all of us as well. And we all need to learn discernment. It's the path of the spiritual warrior, the Tewaz rune. Following our North Star and our North Guidance. Forgive yourself for not. Forgive yourself for being in a position where you ignored that inner guidance. It's okay. It's okay. okay. You don't have to continue to do that. And just because you did it once doesn't mean you're going to do it again. You have the ability to move through that and to start listening to yourself no matter what. And to take now as the only moment that exists and move forward in your life from now, not from back then, not from the past, but from now. You are human and you are growing and learning. Human perfection is rooted in imperfection. This card indicates the need for forgiveness in the situation asked about. So there you go. It's okay. Life is okay. The things that occurred in the past that have been challenging are okay. Because you don't have to continue it into the future. You have the Four of Cups here, which talks about being so consumed by one of these cups, or by three of these cups that aren't working out, that you don't even notice that a gift is coming in. So it's kind of like being distracted and seeing that there's a gift coming to you that you're not even seeing. That actually all of the things that you want are coming to you and are here for you even. It's just a matter of a perspective shift. Once you learn how to cross this gateway and change your perspective, you'll start to see that there's beauty around you everywhere. There's wonderful things here and now in your life that are ready for you. We have the Three of Cups here, which talks about celebrating and with friends, being surrounded by wonderful, lovely people. So once you cut out some of these energies that aren't working for you, a part of that cutting out process is finding the energies that do work for you. Finding the people that you will love and want to hang out with and want to celebrate with. And if we're talking about social media again, maybe it's time to declutter that friends list, to declutter the messages that you're seeing and unfollow. I did this once and it was the greatest thing I've ever done for myself. I went through Facebook and I just unfollowed every single person who was sharing something that I didn't like. And it can sound a little ridiculous, but that really helped. I read each one and I asked myself, it was like a period of a month. Every time I was on Facebook, I was being very mindful about the situation, and I would read a post and I would use my gut and be like, okay, does this post make me feel okay? Or does this post deeply hurt me? And some people's posts deeply hurt. Every time I read it, it would just throw me through this loop and then I would be stuck. So I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to follow that person for a while. And then I just would do that continuously. And the more and more I did that, the more and more I started to see that I was starting to read all of the people whose posts lifted me up. And it was like, oh, this is a perspective from a person who is super happy. And yeah, they might be talking about challenging things on the news or in the world, but they're doing it from a perspective that isn't making me feel horrible. They're doing it from a perspective that's making me feel good. And so, if we're doing the social media stuff here, maybe that would help you to start being really mindful about what are the things that you're even reading on the internet, and do you have control to curate your lists a little bit more? We've got the Temperance card, which talks about lemons from lemonade. It is, you can see this angel, it's hard to tell here, but she's mixing together two different things from two different cups, mixing and transmuting different forces to create something new, something brand new from seemingly opposite forces, seemingly separate forces. And it can talk about the interconnectedness of all of us, and the creation of something brand new. So you have that coming into your life. Once you learn how to shift your perspective, this new perspective will help you merge together elements that are pre-existing in your life already to create them into something new that's better for you, something that you actually want in life. And we have the final two cards that I'm going to talk about is the Sun, which is just ultimate happiness. It's the bright new day. It's the shining loveliness, which is reminding you that the sun is present in your life no matter what. Find the sun energy that is present in your life and cultivate it, love it, nurture it. That will help you. The more that you focus on the things in life that bring you joy, the more you will have things in life bringing you joy. Seriously, it's that easy. It can be challenging sometimes to do that, but honestly, that's it. The more that you enjoy things, the more that you seek out actively the things that bring you happiness, and then the more that you move away from the things that don't, the more that you will have happiness come into your life. And the final card is the Lovers. And this can be either two things or three things. Honestly, it can be a lot of things. I think for one thing, just based on the spread, it's talking about self-love. Remember to love yourself. You know, we had that I love myself beyond whatever setback currently faces me. Coming into your own inner being from a foundation of love and nurturing and wonderfulness is going to help you so much. It'll help you get through any challenge in life, any setback, anything, because at the end of the day, you've got you to love. It can also talk about finding new love. Maybe you have love coming to you, and that love can help you move through these things as well. The love with another person can help you. And maybe you are in love with someone already. Maybe you are in a relationship, or you have love around you. You know, you have this Three of Cups, this celebrating with people that you love. Your friends, your family, joyous people around you. So it's kind of talking about seeking that out, you know, eliminating the things that are hurting you in social media, unfollowing those people, or even just in your own personal life, letting some people go, letting some situations go, letting things go that are no longer serving you, and finding the things that bring you joy and bring you love, and following those things no matter what, letting those things be your guide and not these things that are hurting you. Yeah, find the love, because it's there for you. It really is. You are using your inner guidance and your North Star, following the path of the spiritual warrior, and moving through a gateway into a brand new life, a brand new way of being. And that gateway is asking you to shift your perspective from a place of worry and into a place of sunshine. So yeah, that's your reading. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, and I would love to give you some kind of private reading. I have 2 tiered options. Both are heavily discounted now for my YouTube subscribers specifically, so go to my website, www.junodrome.com, for more information on that. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Hi there, pile number 3. So, I wanted to do this reading today because this is a timeless reading, so it can be for any time, but in this particular moment when I'm making this, there's a lot going on that's really challenging in my country, at least the United States, and just global events right now. Things are really difficult and challenging, and these moments can be very, very hard, especially with the social media landscape as what it is right now. It's really difficult sometimes to navigate those things. Understanding how to navigate a social media landscape from a perspective of keeping yourself safe and protected while also being informed is really important. And learning how to understand your own emotional state, is something that's deeply important. And so this is a reading to speak to that, and this is a reading for coming to a sense of peace within yourself, that no matter the social media landscape, no matter the global events, no matter anything happening in the world, that you can always come to a sense of peace and love and joy and calm within yourself, no matter what's happening in the world. And so this is kind of a reading for feeling powerless and how to manage that while still staying informed about how the world is moving. because things are very dynamic right now, and it feels like anything can happen. So this is kind of a reading to help guide yourself through that. Before I jump right into it, I'm offering some pretty significant discounts on my website for my services now for YouTube subscribers. All that you would do is subscribe to my channel and send me either a screenshot of that or a picture, or communicate with me in some way, and we can contact each other and just confirm that you're one of my subscribers, and then you can get deeply discounted services. And this is just to help provide you with a better sense of stability and feeling calm. Just that's what these readings are for. My readings tend to take on a deeply healing dimension, and so private readings are really accurate and they're really helpful. So just let me know and we can definitely do one. GinoDrum.com. Anyway, let me jump into this here. So for your runes today, we've got two. I've got the Aldruz rune, which is a rune of protection. It is a rune of emotional healing, learning how to recognize your emotions as friends, understanding that they let you in on the secrets of how you're doing, how you can protect yourself, how you can move into a place of peace and comfort through these emotions. They are they're alerts, right? Our emotions are alerts showing us imbalances. And if you were to turn this upside down and draw a circle around it, it would be the peace sign, because the peace sign comes from this rune directly. So it has that peace dimension to it as well, and a protective element. Your other rune today is Reido, which is to ride. It is all about journeys, both external and internal journeys. And so together with this rune here, I think it's telling a story of coming to a place of protecting yourself in an inward journey that will show you your emotions. Maybe you've been blocking your emotions, or you have emotions deep within you that need to be expressed and explored. And it's talking about going on that journey and exploring those emotions within yourself and seeing what they have to offer you, looking at them as friends and not as enemies. I have these little affirmation cards I just started making. I'm going to keep these in all of my readings, and I think that they're incredibly helpful. This one says, "Forget me not, my friend, for I am here with you in spirit and in inspiration." So this could mean a multiple amounts of things. If you subscribe to the idea that there are people on the other side, potentially you have someone looking out for you. You have a guardian angel, or if you don't want to think about things from that perspective, which is totally and completely fine, this can simply mean remembering that you have people that you've looked up to in your life. You've had heroes, you've had people that you admire, and that those people that you admire, you can continue to draw inspiration from those people, even if they're historical figures, if they're people who have done things that you admire, or people in your own personal life, that you have people who are there for you, to inspire you, to help you move through things, to look on to others who have gone through similar journeys and take inspiration from those people. For the Shamanic Healing Oracle cards, I normally just pick 2, but 3 came out, so I'm going to go with all of them for you. We've got Past, Present, and Future, which talks about this idea that the past, the present, and the future are all existing simultaneously, and that all we have is this own present moment. This current moment is all that exists and is all that we can act from. You have Stripping Illusions, which talks about coming to a greater sense of clarity in your life. And the final card is Joy, which talks about joy. I'm going to read directly from the book for all of these cards from the reading at some point when it becomes applicable. So that will happen at some point. And I think that the Shamanic Healing Oracle has really wonderful words to share, and it's really, really nice and kind. For your Rider-Waite Tarot deck, you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Fool, the Hanged Man, and the Knight of Cups. And for my hand-drawn tarot deck, we have the Six of Wands, the Lovers, the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords. So like I was talking about before, this inner journey that you're going on to unite yourself with your emotions is kind of this new start that's occurring in your life. You have some cards talking about that. Excuse me. So we have the Fool here, and the Fool talks about starting a journey. It's the very, very first card in the entire tarot deck, and it is all about beginning something. It's all about taking the first steps in life towards something, beginning anew. And we have the Hanged Man here, which talks about being stuck. So what's interesting, though, is that you can see he's got this golden halo around his head as he's hanging upside down, and that is showing that even though he's in a stuck period in his life, he's gaining greater insight from it. It is allowing him to figure something out within his life, and take that lesson to heart and to help him start this new beginning. So you have this new beginning coming through this inward journey that you're going on. And maybe since we're doing the whole social media and media landscape theme for this reading, potentially you're feeling very triggered right now into really deeply diving into your own emotional state. Potentially the events that are happening in the country, in the world, depending on where you are really making you think and see things in a new way. And that's deeply important, I think. I think that is helping you open up to your own inner emotions and starting to see some things from a new, clearer perspective. We have the Stripping Illusions card, so let's read that real quick here from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, because I think that can help. The lotus flower is a funny plant. It flourishes in the muck and mud. Apparently, in spite of the muck of its birth, beautiful petals open up layer by layer, revealing more and more of its inner beauty. You are being called to strip away illusion after illusion from your own life. You are being asked to enable your true essence to shine through. Allow layer after layer of false beliefs, cluttered thinking, unfulfilled relationships, chaotic environments to go by the wayside to reveal the perfect essence of your core self. This process is challenging at best. We tend to hold on to the illusions we have created, thinking they keep us safe. All they really do is blind us to the true beauty and potential within us. This card is calling to you to look your truth in the face and not let illusions cloud your view of the true beauty of yourself and of others. Wow. So yeah, I think that potentially, you've been in this place of kind of chaos, of not really understanding what's happening. And you're being asked to strip away those illusions and to come to the true essence within you, your true inner being that can help guide you along your path right now. And I think that that's something that's occurring because there's so many cards here for new beginnings, the beginnings of a journey, and you have a bunch of cards talking about taking a break and resting. So you have the Four of Swords here, which is generally depicted as a man who's asleep, or I think he's technically dead in one of the decks, but it's like that, like sleeping like the dead, right? It's not it doesn't mean death, it means rest, taking a long deserved break. It's a very good, peaceful, rejuvenating energy. And so this stuckness that you're in, you're being asked to really to lean in and take a break from some things, take a break from things that aren't working out. If you feel like you've been going and trying to make something happen, this is coming in to tell you to rest, and that rest is incredibly important, and that maybe if we're talking about social media, maybe it's time to take a quick break from it, potentially, to come away from it and to gain inner insights, that the external world can take a moment of pause for us, and we can look within, and start to see these emotional things within us, that maybe if we're feeling triggered, that is a good place to start, to really look within ourselves and to see how we all have something to play in our greater collective consciousness, and that by you taking the time to do the work and come to a sense of calm and peace, you're actually doing that for everyone else as well, right? The more that you can come to a place of calm and center and leave this chaotic, scared energy, the more that you'll be able to act in your own personal life in these situations, from a place of love, of calm, of inner wisdom, and not make rash decisions that lead to people dying. And I'm not saying that that's who you are. Obviously, if you're watching this video, I don't think that that's you. But that's kind of the situation. From my perspective in this, is that if we all just took the time to see each other's inner humanity and came from a place of love and compassion and kindness instead of fear, that less people would end up dead in situations that are based in fear and racism and occluded by all of these horrible things. It touches me very deeply, what's going on, and like I said, this is timeless. So you could be watching this after some future event, potentially, or some other thing, because that's what happens too, is that these events are cyclical, and we have no control over these massive external things in our environment. We can't do anything about that, and that tends to leave us feeling very powerless, right? But to take back your power is to set up healthy boundaries with systems and situations. Sometimes you have to stop looking at the news, and you have to come back into yourself. You can look every day. I think it's important to stay informed. I know that I'm trying to stay informed in all of this. I think it's deeply important, especially when things are happening so quickly and so chaotically. I think that we should all be talking about systematic racism in the United States of America right now. And we should be talking about the historical significances. We should be talking about the political ramifications, all of it. I think it's incredibly important. But what's deeply important too is to come from a place of inner calm and love and compassion and nurturing yourself, to not let it consume you from a place of fear, and of pain, because it's only gonna hurt you, you know. There's this adage, and I keep saying this I think I said it in all 3 readings, but I think it's really important and it helps me in difficult moments, is this idea of, when a plane is crashing, you have to secure the oxygen mask on yourself before you can help others, right? So you have to come to a place of inner calm and inner peace and love within yourself first, and understand where things are first before you can go off and try to do anything for anyone else, and that it is actually deeply, deeply important and more in your control. It's more in your control to act and work on your inner being than it is to act on outside forces. And with this journey inward that you're being asked to take, and to take a look at your emotions, to change your emotions from being an enemy to being a friend, that's kind of asking you to, if you're feeling triggered from the situation, to look at that, to look at how you're feeling triggered, and ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. Where is this coming from? Where is this emotional charge coming from? Why am I feeling this way? What is it about my life and about my circumstances that have happened and are happening that make me feel this way? And how can I strip those illusions away down to my true core, to my deep inner essence? And once you do that, you're entering into this new period, which is 2 different things. It's an emotional stability. You have the Knight of Cups. The Knights are all about the action and movement you're taking within the suit. And the Suit of Cups is all about love and peace and emotional fulfillment. It's acting and working with your emotional state and your emotional body. And so with the Knight of Cups here, it really is talking about movement within your emotions. Moving through your emotions and coming to a place of calm and stability on the other side, in a deep connection with your inner being. And you also have the Knight of Pentacles, so another movement card, and the Pentacles are all about the material world, the physical world around us, a physical sense of stability and abundance. And so there's this deep, deep, deep connection that I've been kind of talking about, this reflection of your inner state and your outer state, the world around us versus the being within us. And by deeply connecting to your inner being and becoming calm with your inner self, your emotional state, the being within you, and then acting from that you can build a calm and stable environment around you and in your community, and really become feeling way more empowered than you feel, based on this sense of inner calmness, that you can't help anyone unless you can come to a place of inner stability within yourself, and move through the emotions the way that you need to of these events. Move through the pain, move through it, and come out on the other side. We have the Queen of Swords here. She comes in asking us for discernment. She is the rational mind. She's very analytical, and she cuts through the BS, right? So she cuts through the things that aren't right. For whatever reason, she can tell. She's discerning with her eyes. This isn't right. This doesn't work, and she cuts it out. So she's kind of asking you to have discernment in your life, to see things from a perspective of greater balance, a mental clarity. Try to come to a sense of mental calm and mental clarity, and that mental clarity can help you move through your emotions. We have the Queen of Wands as well, and she is the master manifester of the universe. She makes things happen with her divine will. She harnesses the forces of nature and around her to create a world that she wants for herself. You have you have ultimate control in your life. It's your life and your rules. I firmly, firmly believe that. And she is coming in to remind you that you have control in this life, that you have the ability to move your life however you need to for you, and that that's important for you to do that. And she can create whatever needs to happen in her life around her, and it comes from feeling the sense of united with her inner being. She's united with her intuition and her inner essence, and is able to channel those forces into creating the outward life that she wants. So I think that that's a period that you're entering into. After you go through this reflective inner journey, you're going to come out on the other side with this new journey of emotional and material fulfillment. So take a break and a rest from anything that's not working for you right now, anything that feels really hard and is challenging. Take a break and move through those emotions first before moving forward. And once you do, you have the Six of Wands here, which is ultimate victory. So you're going to be victorious in this situation, whatever the case, whatever's happening to you. You're entering into a period of celebration, of joy. You're coming out on the other side of it more fulfilled than you've ever been. And you have the Lovers here, which talks about a couple things. You could have love coming into your life. You could be with someone who brings you deep joy and deep love in your life, and this could be asking you to reach out to that person more, to remember that you have people in your life who can help you. Or more importantly, this is talking about self-love. So being connected to your inner being and loving yourself no matter what, and knowing that you can build that foundation of deep self-love within yourself, and that can help you through any challenge that faces you. Final card is Joy. So I'm going to read the Joy card from the book here because it's really great. And I think that's the period that you're coming into, and sort of something that can really help you moving forward, finding a place of joy no matter where you are. We are created in joy. The balance of energy and higher vibrations brings us closer to divine love, pure joy. Joy can be a destination, but it can also be the vehicle that you can use to get to that destination. See, exactly. Using joy to get to these places. Finding the joy that exists in your life and jumping on it, following that. Let that be your guide through life. Not things that cause you pain, but things that cause you joy. Following and chasing those joyful things for yourself. Faith, grace, gratitude, and love all merge together at different times in different amounts to create joy. There is love, growth, tears, change, and self-realization in this card. This card portends a happy and joyous time. So through this inner journey, it's asking you to find the things that bring you joy, and that those are the things that you can follow in your life that will lead you down a path of happiness, of really self-fulfillment, of feeling good for yourself and about yourself. And that can come from a place that said gratitude here. I think that that's also really important to remember, is in times that are deeply challenging and are really hard, and when we feel powerless, finding a sense of gratitude can deeply help. It can change everything. So like, we all have things in life to be grateful for, and acknowledging our gratitude for the stability that we do have. If you have a home over your head, if you have a source of income, if you have mobility, if you can move through the world without being afraid that the police can kill you at any moment, which is so horrible. And then even if that's the case, understanding that there are things in life to be grateful for, that can help us move through really hard states of being. and that when we can come to a place of inner peace and calm, that can help us move through life in a way that can stop hurting us. Um, oh man, it's so hard. It's so hard. I'm rocked by what's going on, and that's important. I think that's important that I am rocked, and this inner acknowledging of the emotions. Our emotions are friends and not enemies. We gotta feel this. This is collective pain that we are experiencing, and it's deeply important to heal it within and without. Um, that dichotomy of the inner versus the outer world that I was talking about, it's really important to do that work. And to do that work within yourself, to really look at, you know, if you're a white person, how do I benefit from systematic racism? Look at that. We all do. If you are not a white person, um, you know, understanding where you are within the system and coming to a sense of inner peace and inner beauty and inner calm regardless of it, regardless of this horrible system that can act within us in situations that are so terrible. Regardless of that, you are strong. You have a deep, loving inner being who can transcend anything, and that is who you are, regardless of what the world tells of you who you should be, or what you are based on historical circumstances and societal pressures and all of that bullshit. Like, you are a deeply powerful person and inner being, and that is who you are. And whatever happens on the outside of this world, by knowing that you have that within you, that you have that strength, um, that nothing can touch you. Even if things touch you physically, nothing can touch your spirit. Nothing can touch your being, your essence. That's for you. You have power over your life. You really do. Um, that's my reading for you. I hope that it resonates. Let me know either way in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Remember that I have some discounts on my website, junodrome.com. I would love to give you a personal reading if you want one. I got 2 options. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a great one.